Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant. Today we are at the next topic, that is the initiative, and we are at the third example of our topic. So through this lesson we are trying to understand what is initiative, how we use the moves in order to force the opponent into certain situation. That is what initiative is all about. Let's get started with the game quickly. I have got a game example here. So we will reach the desired position quickly. After the moves e4, e5, white went nf3, nc6, bb5. This opening is called Royal Lopez. Black went nf6. a6 is another main move. After nf6, white goes castle. White often gives up the e4 pawn in this opening. After knight into e4, white can go d4, which happens to be the one of the main lines. So here black went knight e4. re1 would allow d5. So d4, and here black has to be little careful. The point is after ed is blunder, because after ed re1 pinning the knight, and now after d5 knight takes d4, first attacking the c6 knight which is pinned, and once the knight is protected, white can play the move f3. To note the e file is open, the knight gets attacked with the pawn and the knight is lost. So that will be a winning position for white. So black went nd6. This is called the Berlin variation, very popular. It's popularized by the game or the match between Kasparov and Kramnik. After the move bishop c6, dc, de5, knight f5, queen d8, a8, black is ready to play the endgame and his castle is broken. But still he has the bishop pair and he tries to prove that nothing much happens in the position. So it's a very topical and a detailed line. Many strong players play that line. This is an old game, and here white tries to take the initiative in a totally different way. We can see here that black has moved this f6 knight several times. Knight from g8 to f6 to e4 to d6. Already 3 moves by the knight. And white wants to gain some more tempo and try to force things. So white went d into e5. This is a very important stage of the game where white is trying to force things. Knight into b5 forced. It looks like white has given the knight. Of course the knight can be won instantly. White goes a4, and here what should black do? So this is a point where actually black has one last option of nearly equalizing the game. All he has to do is he has to trade a few pieces and let the initiative not pass on to white, because see, right now both have 2 developments which would count the pawn on the 5th rank as a, here we can count as both development and it's contributing to the center. So black should have ideally returned the piece by knight d4, and after knight d4, q d4, he could have played d5, opening his bishop, and after ed, bd6 or even queen d6, the position is absolutely good. bd6 falls to qg7, but qd6 is absolutely playable, and black is close to equalizing over there. After re1 check, there is bishop e6. And he is able to hold, because white still queen side is undeveloped, so he is able to hold that position. But black thought of keeping the extra pawn, so he went knight d6, e into d6, bd6. Of course bishop is developed, but this development will not be considered great because it still blocks the d pawn, and to move the c8 bishop we will have to move both the d6 bishop and the d7 pawn. So in future soon black will be forced to waste some moves. This is the main critical position where Alekhine took a bold decision, and we should try to find moves for white over here. White has choice between 4 candidate moves as per our principles of opening, and we try to see check, capture, attack that way. So one is bg5, development with attack. Second, knight c3. Third, rook e1. These 3 are the most natural moves, and white played the 4th move, which looks either it can be played by a strong player or a beginner. White notices that black has violated many principles. His bishop is not developed properly. There is a pawn behind it on d7. His pieces have moved several times, and white thought it's best to try to exploit the situation and try to make castling difficult for black. So white went with the fourth option, that is knight g5. After re1 check be7, we see that after bg5, black just castles and manages to get a decent position. White of course has compensation for the pawn in these cases because his pieces are more free. White went with the move ng5, and here soon black found himself struggling because once the initiative is taking over or it's going to pass on to the opponent, that time it's very important for the opponent as well to try to fight against it and not allow what the opponent wants. So it's very important to challenge white over here, and black had to take the bold decision of playing h6, which looks very risky because of qh5. But here in this particular case, black can castle, and after ne4 it looks like bh6 will be devastating, but black can still hold perhaps by bishop e5. When of course knight c3 is possible, to d5 there can be rook d1, and we can say that white has still managed play, but black was a bit, I think, fearful about this pawn movement. Bishop into h6 can be dangerous. If instead of the b1 knight there would have been a bishop on d3, definitely white would have been winning in that case. Now let us understand what's the point of the move ng5. As I told you, white wants to stop black's castling. So after castle here, white had seen the very strong qd3, not qh5, which again allows h6. qd3 forcing the defense of the h-pawn. So g6 is forced. After f5 there is queen d5 check, king h8, knight f7. When if rook into f7 is not given, then we come across the popular smothered mate. After qd5, king h8, knight f7, kg8 blunder. When knight h6 check, kh8, queen g8, rook g8, and f7 checkmates. These kind of mates usually we see only in the positions, but it is happening in the game 2 here. So g6 forced, and now white has queen h3, again forcing the h-pawn to move h5, and here amongst many moves like knight c3 idea, knight e4, or knight e4 immediately attacking the bishop and threatening bg5 or bh6. We can say that white's initiative is very strong here. He has forced some weaknesses in the black position. Black didn't like this position, so he didn't go for the move castle. But the problem is what he did turned out even worse in the game. He played b7, trying to challenge the knight, and I think perhaps he missed the white's strong move qh5, when maybe he must have thought after bg5 things are okay, but black cannot play f6 there because the pawn is pinned, and after qh5, bg5, knight e7, white has the very simple and strong re1, winning the piece on e7, and white wins. So what should black do now after the move queen h5? Things look very difficult for him now, and the only course that comes to mind is the move g6, which is now creating holes in the black position. f6 and h6 are permanent weaknesses. White needs to calculate precisely after g6. Can white do queen h6? The point is after queen h6, bf8 what? Let's keep the position over there. To me, this looks like a white to play and win kind of position, because we can make out that now the initiative stage has passed on to an attacking stage, where we see white is already very strongly placed. Queen on h6 very powerful, knight g5 attacks near f7, rook can join on e1. Something like a modern computer would calculate as 9 plus 5 plus 3, which makes around 18 points. And if you look at black pieces, his knight is just contributing 3 points and the king is stuck in the middle. So we can say this position is around, if we just count that way, plus 13 or 14, which modern kids also tend to count in terms of points. But we can say computer will never give this queen 0 points. So modern computer will also evaluate this position somewhere around +6, +7. This position is about to collapse. And of course, white found the win. Alekhine was playing white, so of course he spotted the combination here. Here comes rook e1 check. When after bishop e7, qg7 wins on the spot, the rook will have to move to f8, and after knight h7 we threaten both qf8 and knight f6 mate. So after rook e1, e7 forced, and of course Alekhine spotted the move knight e4. Very good if you have been able to spot this knight e4 tactic. It's not a very difficult one, but there are two things that white should note. After bishop h6, knight f6, king f8, bh6, of course this is one line which leads to mate, and the other move f5, when e4 and h6 both are hanging, white should not miss this line. Of course Alekhine calculated this. After f5 he went nf6 check, king f7, again both are attacked. White has qh4. Purpose of qh4 is keeping the option bg5 open. Black is going to try to snatch the knight on f6, bg7, bishop g5 forced in order to protect the knight, and now h6. Perhaps black was counting on this chance. He must have thought that now the g5 bishop has to move, then f6 would be lost, or otherwise what to do, hg is a threat. But as I have been telling you, we can see that the white's initiative is strong, and to add to that we see that the poor position of the black king. If we are able to find the candidate moves, it would be very easy to see 3 moves here. One, rook e7 check. Second, queen c4 check, very important one. And there are some other queen moves as well when we want to use the check later on. But best options, qc4 and rook e7 of course. And here white could spot, white to play and win it is. White spotted queen c4 check, d5, then there is the simple knight d5, because the point is if knight takes d5, bishop takes the queen, and if queen takes d5, the knight is overloaded, rook e7, e7, and the queen is lost. So this position is losing, and any more pressure by the move b6 would instantly allow re6, ke6, and we will have several ways to mate the black king. Knight c7 check, knight b6 check. Personally I like the move knight e7 check. It's all winning for white. So here black decided to play king f8 because d5 was losing badly, and here also white is able to win. There are two ways to get the same position. White can do rook e7 or knight h7 check, which lead us to the same thing. After knight h7, rook h7, b7 check, queen e7, re7, ke7, or white played re7 instantly, first threatening mate on f7. If king takes e7, then knight d5 check and the queen is lost. So queen takes e7 forced, knight h7, rook h7, and bishop e7, ke7. White played the move queen c7 in the game, stopping the development of a8 and c8, and he allowed black to take b2. The idea was after qc7, bb2, rook a2, bishop f6, white played c4 when the rook could join from the e5, and white soon won the game. But the point was very interesting here. After q g8, white could have tried d6, when after queen into h7, king f6 or king f7, black can try to play bishop d7 followed by rook h8, trapping the queen. But actually it's not possible to trap the queen. White will just go nc3, rook e1 and use rook e7 check. For instance, qg8, d6, qh7, king f7, knight c3, bd7, rook e1. When after rook h8, white just has the move rook e7 and he wins. So the main point of this game was the initiative which white developed with the move knight g5, and which brought about some difficulties for black. I hope you are finding these lessons useful. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.